about, something that I've been trying to figure out for a while. I guess you can call it a midlife crisis, but it's not midlife because I'm not even close to 30. Um, it's like what you should do because as a college student, which I am, you go to school and try to get that piece of paper to figure out, and then figure out what you're gonna do afterwards, right? And I guess that's the plan, or pretty shitty version of the plan actually. But realize that depending on your major, of course, there's not really a lot of options out there. But that's not the issue that I'm going to be talking about. I'm going to be talking about a lot of the times now, specifically, right? I was going to college to be a computer science major, but specifically in my field, left and right people are going and getting jobs without a degree. So I went and started taking the certification courses and all that stuff or whatever, and it's seeming pretty likely that I'll be able to do the same thing. So then I looked to myself like, why am I, here? Why am I going to college? Why am I in this place? And some people will say the experience, and you gotta meet people or whatever, but I don't really give a shit. I can meet people out of college anyway. You can just go down and just go somewhere. That's kind of just how it works. But yeah, there's some people you can find in academics that you wouldn't find otherwise. But, I know computer science is pretty unique in that regard. Degrees that don't even, guarantee that you will even become successful, right? The average income in this country is like $50,000, but people can reach that without a degree easy, right? The return on a college degree is like sketch, man. It's like maybe you can get $50,000 with your degree, but if you go for the trifecta of like engineer, doctor, lawyer, you can definitely hit those levels. A lawyer, it's kind of iffy or whatever because it depends on what school you go to, depending on what branch you want to go into, whatever. But, unless you go for that trifecta, it's kind of hard to really, go up there in terms of salary. And there's, can become a researcher or a scientist for something in physics or whatever, right? But then that becomes, a high probability of you becoming a tenured professor at a university. But if you want to become a researcher, a lot of people want researchers that have their PhDs. And, if that takes quite a while, right? So there comes a line like, oh man, what do you want to do, right? And personally, if you like, a common person my age would say, oh, I want to travel, see the world, whatever, because we don't know shit. We haven't seen anything, we haven't seen everything, and we want to. Curiosity really drives us. And the only way to do that is to have money, right? Either to save it or to constantly get it, right? Obviously going to an entrepreneur route, or just saving a bunch of fucking money and then just going somewhere. But not saying travel you need a bunch of money just to travel, but you need money in some regard. But it comes to the point where college isn't the most efficient way of getting money. It's not even the cheapest way of even getting the certifications to work in specific fields, right? You can get certifications if you want to, I don't know, become a firefighter, or you want to become a specific thing. There are certifications out there now that you can literally just get the certification, go straight into it, and just start making bank. There's a lot of certifications in the medical field for that. Like becoming a nurse practitioner, or what is it, a CNA, and things of that nature. But you can, if you want to become a barber, go to fucking barber school. You can just do these things and just, start making the money to do what you want to do. It makes it a lot easier to go passion-wise, but people throw this word risk at me all the time. They're just like, oh man, it's risky not going to college, it's risky doing this, but it's risky going to college. You're spending 4 years there, and if you go to a private university, you're fucked, right? Tuition's like $40K, maybe a year, and that's 4 years of your life that you're investing into this place, into this company, really. And, you know, they don't even offer you a promise of getting a degree. And, you know, you kind of just have to, you know, deal with it, right? You don't get your money back. You don't, nothing, right? If you don't have the skills necessary to actually get a job or anything that will propel you into the workforce, then it's not on them, it's on you. You know, but, you know, a lot of people can argue that. But they're offering their services of teaching you and actually giving you the tools necessary to be in the workforce, but they also don't teach you a lot of things at all, like that you actually need, like taxes and, you know, worrying about insurance and all these things, all these adult stuff that I have to deal with. But, you know, I totally derailed the topic of this conversation, so I guess I'll just continue. But, you know, it doesn't make sense to go to college if you don't know what you want to do. And it also doesn't make sense if you know what you want to do, but you don't need college for it, and then you still go anyway. There comes times like it just doesn't make sense on why you're doing it. It's just not a smart decision, but I don't know, that kind of sounds pretentious, right? But it's interesting because like a lot of people, the older generation, the generations above us, would say that, you know, college is necessary, but times have just kind of changed. Like a lot of top companies don't even require a degree anymore, and you can easily, you know, work on not even a certifications in most cases. You can just do a little practice, you know, go into a site, do a couple of practice problems or whatever, and just learn the shit that you need to learn, and then now you're making like $70K within like 5 months, within the year. You're going from making, you know, only being able to make probably $40K, $30K, to being able to make $80,000, right? And you know what I'm referring to is like, I don't know, if you just look up some resource for front-end development or something, and, you know, do all that stuff that they say to do, and, you know, you can literally just start applying to front-end jobs, and then bing bong, you're golden, and you're just getting, you know, all the salary to just do this work. And it's not as hard as people think, but, you know, people go to college anyway. They go to college even knowing they don't know what they want to do, and I guess they're fine just because they don't know any the other options, or they're not certain of other options because they don't have outside influences to tell them and reinforce these other options, I would say. They don't have these things to give them certainty so that they can shed this fear that they have over the idea of not going to college. Because, you know, they have that stigma of like, oh, you don't go to college, you're going to work at McDonald's, but you can still make, you know, some bank just fucking open a McDonald's franchise and or chain. Not a chain, what am I talking about? You can be a franchisee, open a McDonald's, and, you know, you can start making bank, right? But, like, it's interesting right now. It's an interesting point. But I don't know. I guess I'll talk about what I originally wanted to talk about in another video, but, you know, I guess this is me just shitting on the school system because it kind of just doesn't make any sense at all. And it's not necessary to get what you want done in life, right? Like, for example, you know, just giving some previous examples for me, like, I went from, you know, I don't know, I would say I had a lot of skills in programming and things of that nature. I could definitely get a programming job, but, you know, I went from making $15 an hour, right, from some, you know, package handling job, to going over, you know, spending 3 months of my life getting certified as a real estate agent, and now I can literally now I have access to so much income, right? Like, if I build the system that is necessary or required for a successful agent, then I will literally have access to, you know, 100K, 200K, and more, like a lot more. So it's like, and that's three months of my invested time. And yes, you got to invest the time further on, but when do you not? When do you not have to do that? You know, you're always going to have to work in some way, shape, or form to maintain or grow what you want, right? You know, like right now I can continue making the money I make, or I can put in more work to grow that and start exponentially increasing it, and raising, you know, the bar for how much, you know, income I can make. So, and that was done without college, right? But you know, if there's things that you need access to, like, well, I would never say don't go to college. If you want to go, if you really want to be an engineer, go to college, because you're probably not gonna get a job building rocket ships without a degree, and you know, you're definitely not gonna get a job operating on people without a you know, your MDA, or you know, going to medical school, which I definitely tried figuring out a loophole to that, right? Because I guess that'd be cool. But you know, right, as of right now, you can't do that I know of, unless you are a nurse's assistant, and or a doctor's assistant, sorry, and you also can't become a lawyer without, you know, law school, which is, you know, it's illegal. But you know, if you've ever seen the show Suits, then you would know that, you know, maybe you can do it, right? But no, but you can't do it. So unless you're going for those three, I feel like I'm missing one somewhere, but unless you're going for those three, then you know, I wouldn't say don't go to college, but they think long and hard if it makes sense for you to even be there, at least right now, because a lot of parents do a really good job of scaring their kids. They're like, oh man, you don't want to, you know, be a bum, you don't want to be, you know, broke and unsuccessful, whatever. With college, you'll be able to get that. And it's as if they treat a college as the workforce's, you know, military, right? Like if you don't have your life together, you know, a parent would send their kid to the military or something, or you know, it wouldn't send them. It'll push them to join the military to get their life on track, get some discipline. And it's like parents treat, you know, college as the military of the financial world, to really get your life on track and get that discipline to do work. And yeah, college does a great job of making sure you do your work and follow the orders of your boss and things of, you know, your superiors. So, you know, it has its pros for the workforce. I wouldn't say it has a pros in making money, but you know, and that's what most people care about, is making money, so they can do whatever they want. But not everyone's gonna do what they want because they don't want to do all the work to get it. But I don't want to continue rambling though, so I'll wrap that up there.